What's up, traders? Eric here with MajorLeagueTrading.com, and in tonight's video here, my favorite name on the board right now is going to be in Tesla here. So we did take positions in Tesla today, right off of this 227.36 level here, and it also presented another opportunity later on in the day for a nice little retest there. I think this thing goes higher. The big question becomes, how high can it go? My two targets at the moment are going to be 238.92s and then 246.32s. If we do manage to somehow gap up tomorrow and open somewhere inside of that zone, I'll use that 238.92 kind of as my, if we open it like say 241, I'll let it have a pullback if it needs to, see if it'll hold this 238.92s and keep moving up into 246.32s. On the other hand, if we do, which I will take some either way, right? If we open above 238.92s, I'm going to go ahead and take some profit. We did hold some overnight in this, and I think it makes a nice move. So looking at Tesla to make the move higher, but at the same time, that's also kind of tough just because of the fact that I think the S&P and the Nasdaq want to essentially make a move lower here. So there's a level down here at 54.12 in the S&Ps that I think we can trade down into. And then from there, bigger picture case scenario here, just to be made for a quick second. I think from there, as long as it holds, we might make the move back up here towards 55.64s to 55.80s. Now, with FOMC being this week and all of those things coming up, right, which we have a stacked calendar for all of this stuff, right? So Tuesday going into Tuesday, which is tomorrow, July 30th. We got 10 a.m. news there coming out. We've got some, obviously not USD news coming out later, 9 and 9:30. And then Wednesday being the big one where we have the FOMC statement, federal funds rate, and all of that. And we have all of this on top of a rather stacked earnings calendar, right? I mean, we've got AMD, Microsoft, Starbucks, Meta, Moderna, Boeing, Amazon, Apple, the list goes on and on, right? Coinbase. So there's definitely no shortage. Even FFIV was after the bell today. We'll take a look at that one. There's definitely no shortage of things to do here going into this week. Although today I thought was going to be rather slow, ends up being the case, right? But to go back to that bigger picture point, I think from 54.12s, we've got room to then make that move all the way back up towards 55.60s, which is about a 150-point move. If there was a time for that to happen, it would be around FOMC. So it does make sense that ultimately is on the table. Now, same thing I think is true here in the Nasdaq. The only difference is Nasdaq right now is basically sandwiched between this 347 quarters and these 109s down here that we front ran a little bit here today. So we came down, lows are 113 quarters. But bigger picture in here, there's still an 873 quarter level down here. This is what I think gets tested in and around maybe the same time that the 54.12 level is getting tested for the S&Ps. Again, that's about 100 points lower. I get it. We're talking big moves. Volatility's increased, all of these things. So we're seeing the potential for these larger moves on the board. Total range on the day for the Nasdaq, 264 points. And we basically went nowhere. Like, we didn't actually do anything. We did kind of go from level to level with a small front run, but we didn't really go anywhere on the charts, right? We're still kind of sideways in this area. So for me, I'm interested in shorts under 109, right? I'm interested in shorts in the S&Ps under 54.87s. But I don't think that happens until maybe even Wednesday with some sort of gap down on some of those earnings names or something like that. And then from there, ultimately here in the Nasdaq, I think we have room back up towards 20,000, right? 19,837s. So there's a big move to be had. And I wouldn't be given today's move, right? And just the 264 points we moved today and basically went nowhere, 257 points the other day. I think there will be a day, maybe not necessarily the range itself, but an overall overnight to intraday move of somewhere in like the 600 to 700 point range for the Nasdaq, right? And if that's going to happen, I think it comes from this move lower and then being able to get back up through like these 347s and things like that. So there's a couple steps here in order to see, those things kind of start to take place. But I think that's really what's on the board here for this week. And the question becomes, like I said, whether or not Tesla can hold strong here while the Nasdaq may need that move lower. And then from there, if it does, now we've got a nice kind of little launch pad there. We can make that move up in towards the 240s in here, and maybe even a little bit further. We'll see ultimately how this kind of wants to shake out. But anyways, that's what I've got here for tonight's free video. There's nothing else on the board that really stands out to me. There's nothing screaming at me that I ultimately have to do anything with, but outside of Tesla. So I'll put a full game plan together for Tesla inside of the Discord tomorrow. So there's a link beneath this video. You guys can click that link. It's $1 for 14 days to join the Discord. It's by far the best money you can spend in your trading career. So I'll leave it at that, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care and hope it helps. Peace.